right. All right. What do you got for me? Chief's head, is it? Big chief.
Aye.
Of course. They're all chiefs now. Knew of a chief. He used to parade his pretty tattooed heads in front of potential buyers whilst they were still attached to their bodies. They're slaves, you see. He can do what he likes with them. You can still get him to work his gardens till they're sold. And then... well, there's not much you can teach your New Zealander about supply and demand. What else you got for me? Yeah, they'll do just fine.
Heke. Whai kai ana?
Nui tonu.
Ah, he kai au. Mari me pēhea o hoa.
What can you do?
Me ki pēr ke tau. Ki te pōhiri manuhiri e rātau, ma rātau no kia whāngai.
O hara mai nā tētahi. I noi atu.
Reverend?
Ngā mihi mai a wiramu ki a koe.
Pēnā no ki tāku.
This treaty business. We should talk.
Many speak against this treaty. They are suspicious and don't understand.
Might you help our cause?
I might. Me he mea hau ka whi a tauiwi. O, ka hari ka tatsu te no. Wā pōpō. He pēhea rā te kara.
The New Zealander's mind is like a fish, difficult to grasp. He will say one thing while meaning another, while leaving a third option open in case he wishes, at some late date, to take a completely contrary position.
When it comes down to it, the big question is, what's in it for me? Mō mātou, mō te.
Mōhio ana heke pōkai. A piri tonu tana haere me te Pākehā. Mau noa I tana kupena. He ika iti noa ia. E rahi tonu te nuinga.
You, Joseph Moore, take this Wahine to be like a wife to have and to hold for a few weeks until your ship sets sail?
A way had to be found to protect the natives from the deprivations of the whites, as was an evidence all around with wickedness, perversity, and greed in constant company.
So, good luck.
What is this word?
Extension.
Extensive.
No, that's right.
The next word is immigration.
But none of it's
Is it not the true purpose of this treaty to allow the rule of law? To protect the natives from the settlers and the settlers from their own lawlessness and depravity?
Yes, of course. It is an outcome we all desire.
Can we focus on that? Because...
Did they honestly believe that the government of our great empire would go to such lengths to protect a few savages, drunks, and whoremongers from themselves? Really?
Please!
Now, we have taken your advice. But now, may I suggest that Mr. Busby and I be left to write, so that the Lieutenant Governor still has time to approve and read this document.
And Mr. Williams has time to translate.
Yes, of course. Now, Mr. Busby, perhaps another glass of your excellent wine.
I have chased pirates, enslaved traders across the Indian Ocean. And the yellow fever. 3 times, Mr. Busby, no less. It's a terrible thing to be laid so low at such a time.
Would you like to see it, sir? The treaty, I mean?
Well, of course. That's why we're here. Perhaps you might, Good. Yes. Fine handwriting. James.
Thank you, sir.
So the meeting is tomorrow?
Good. Good.
It is still to be translated.
What? Oh, yes. Of course, I should probably make a few notes. In my chest, if you'd be so kind. You'll find examples of treaties made with the natives of India or Africa or some such. Perhaps we should compare and contrast.
But, sir, surely the conditions here are markedly different.
Well, yes. Still, no harm in being thorough.
This is it.
Needs to be translated by 10 a.m. tomorrow.
No, earlier, the governor will need to cite it first.
Is he familiar with the language?
Not a word.
I see. Well, there are certain terms which may not be acceptable to a native chief.
What sort of terms?
Sovereignty?
It is a cornerstone of the treaty.
It is asking them to see their mana.
And what is that?
Their power, their right to rule, from their ancestors, but also actions.
The governor agreed it was a very fine treaty.
Then there is no problem.
Here was a document that was to be the bedrock of our relations with the natives. And there was no time for measured contemplation and discussion.
Ea ke aki ana mata kia ino ia te kia tau i ngō tātou taonga. Ana i aku kai, te kai o aku tūpuna.
O tātou te whenua, nā tātou ngā tikanga, o tātou ngā rangatira.
New settlers arrive every month, it seems, courtesy of the New Zealand Company. And with them, fresh tensions. Without this treaty, I hesitate not to say that the native population to a man will shortly be in arms. The question of possession may be settled by the extermination of all the Europeans in this part of the island.